What if your breath is sending a message, louder than your words? How many times have you been talking to someone, sharing your thoughts and ideas only for them to stop listening, their face scrunched up in disgust? You've probably experienced this before. Maybe you didn't realize it at the time, but there was a point in the conversation where things took a turn. They stopped making eye contact and their body language shifted, pulling away from you. You might think it was what you said. Maybe you made a joke that fell flat or brought up a topic that put them on the defensive. But sometimes the culprit isn't what you say. It's something far more primal, something you can't control: bad breath. I'm a mental health educator, and today we're going to talk about 5 subtle signs of bad breath that could be destroying your confidence. These are the hidden social landmines that can turn a promising connection into an awkward retreat. So stick around. We're going to decode these signals together. The first sign is when you have bad breath minutes after brushing your teeth. Now, this can be embarrassing and concerning. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, maybe even use some mouthwash, but still you get hit with that bad breath. Why does this happen? Well, it often comes down to the balance in your mouth. Your mouth has a natural ecosystem of bacteria. When you brush your teeth, you might inadvertently wipe out some of these bacteria. But don't worry, those little guys reproduce pretty quickly. So while you've temporarily knocked down the population, by the time you're having that conversation, they're back in full force. The sudden shift in the bacterial balance can lead to a change in the sulfur compounds produced, resulting in that lingering bad breath. Now, here's the kicker. You're not always aware of it. Imagine being in the middle of a presentation, feeling confident and composed, only to be met with puzzled looks from your audience. They're not confused by what you're saying. They're confused by what they're smelling. In situations like these, your confidence can take a nosedive faster than your breath. It's a silent confidence killer. Next on our list is a white tongue or thick coating. This can signal an overgrowth of certain microorganisms. Picture this: you're sitting across from someone, engaged in a lively discussion, when suddenly they lean back, a slight frown creasing their forehead. They subtly reach up to wipe their mouth, leaving a telltale white mark on their fingers. This isn't a hygienic issue. It's a biological one. It happens when there's an imbalance in the friendly bacteria that usually keep the microscopic villains in check. Without that friendly bacteria, the villains take over, thriving on the sugars in your mouth and releasing smelly sulfur compounds as a byproduct. This can make your breath stink and send social signals that you might not be aware of. If you're experiencing this, don't panic. Drink plenty of water, practice good oral hygiene, and consider reaching out to a healthcare professional. Another sign is morning breath that lingers past noon. Now, let's talk about a common experience. You wake up in the morning and your breath, well, it's not exactly minty fresh, but you think, hey, it's temporary. I'll brush my teeth and have some coffee, but then lunchtime rolls around and your colleagues are staring at you fanning themselves. That lingering morning breath has turned into a midday stench bomb. What gives? Well, morning breath happens because overnight your mouth becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. See, when you sleep, you're not producing saliva, which is your mouth's natural defense against bad breath. Also, you're breathing through your mouth instead of your nose, which means no air filtration. So when you wake up, your mouth is essentially a closed ecosystem of bacteria, food particles, and a little bit of morning drool. By lunchtime, if you haven't brushed your teeth or had anything to eat, that ecosystem can start to smell. Imagine being in a job interview, pitching your ideas only for your breath to betray you. It's a nightmare scenario. But it's important to remember that this is a common experience. Many people deal with it, and there are ways to manage it. So take a moment to plan ahead. Keep a toothbrush at your desk, pop a mint, chew gum, stay hydrated. These small steps can make a big difference. Moving on, we have a less talked about yet crucial aspect: saliva smells. It's not just your breath that can betray you. Sometimes your saliva can carry unwanted scents as well. Let me share a personal experience. I remember sitting in a meeting, listening to my boss talk about an upcoming project. I was leaning forward, engaged in the discussion, when suddenly a wave of nausea washed over me. I looked at my boss, concerned. He didn't seem to notice anything. Then I realized the source of my discomfort. It wasn't the project, it was my own saliva. You see, the glands under your tongue produce saliva throughout the day, and this saliva can pick up flavors and smells from what you've eaten or drunk. If you've had garlic or onions, that's one thing. But if you've recently consumed something strong like a tuna pie, well, that smell can linger in your saliva long after the food is gone. Now, imagine finding yourself in a job interview or a first date, and every time you talk, a whiff of tuna pie hangs in the air. Talk about a confidence killer. This brings us to the final sign, when people step back without meaning to. This can be the most telling, yet most subtle sign of bad breath. Think about it. You're giving a presentation, you're in your groove, when suddenly someone in the front row takes a step back. At first, you think nothing of it until it happens again. A few minutes later, another person edges away from you. This isn't a coincidence. Their subconscious reaction to your breath is driving them away. You might not be aware of it, but your breath can send a powerful message. It can speak volumes about your oral health, your confidence, and your overall well-being. Now, I know this might sound overwhelming, but remember, understanding is the first step towards taking control. We often focus on what we see, on words and gestures. But what we smell can evoke an emotional response as powerful as any word. The truth is, dealing with bad breath can be emotionally draining. It can make you self-conscious, anxious even. But I want you to remember you're not alone in this. Millions of people go through this, and there's no shame in seeking help. So, the next time you're about to step into an important meeting or a social event, take a moment to prepare. Pop a mint, chew gum, drink some water, just to be on the safe side. It's not about being overcautious. It's about ensuring that your confidence isn't eroded from within. Bad breath can undermine your confidence in ways you wouldn't think. But it's not the end of the world. There are solutions. Stay positive, stay proactive, and remember, a little preparation goes a long way. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a situation where someone's bad breath made you uncomfortable? Or maybe you're the one who's dealt with this challenge. Share your stories. Help others understand that they're not alone in this journey. Remember, knowledge is power. So spread the word, break the silence, and let's work together to ensure that no one's confidence is eroded by something they can't control. As we wrap up this conversation, I'd like you to reflect on this. Most people won't tell you, but they will feel it. Your breath might be sending a message, but it doesn't have to define you. So take charge, stay positive, and keep breathing easy. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insightful mental health videos. And remember, you matter. Your mental health matters. So keep checking in with yourself, seek help when needed, and keep striving to understand and improve your mental health. Until next time.